After 10 years, a Minecraft movie is officially out, and you might not know this, but there is both a mid-credits and a post-credits scene, and although Warner Brothers are striking all footage of that post-credits, I'll describe it to you briefly with this image. Steve goes back to his old house in the real world, and he speaks to a woman with orange hair and a green shirt, and she says her name is Alex, opening up the possibilities for a sequel that now it's been so successful, I'm sure they'll want to explore. Anyway, hello, I'm AbbyXToyCat, and this is Q&A Saturday, the weekly series where I answer your biggest comments from the last week, and I had quite a few of these that related to the Minecraft movie, so we'll come back to that as well as your other non-Minecraft movie questions, but we do need to start obviously with the fact that yes, a Minecraft movie had the biggest box office opening day of 2025, even being greater than the Captain America movie that released this year, and it's the biggest opening day figure of 2025 so far. In fact, it is the second biggest video game release of all time after the Super Mario movie, and even that it's got a possibility of catching up with, meaning that a Minecraft movie 2 looks very likely. But just for a fun little bonus detail, everyone's talking about the post-credit scene, but obviously the mid-credit scene with the villager is one that I'm hugely interested in, and interestingly, there's an interview with Jennifer Coolidge where she talks about co-starring with a nitwit, and I just need to share this with you.
I mean, I think of all the scenes I've had over the years with different people, different actors, and if I have to say, I think my scene with Nitwit, I mean, I think it's the most attracted I've ever been to a character. Certainly turned on.
I've got to say, the way they're promoting this movie is ridiculous, but in a way that is clearly working for them. There are some really interesting stats about that, and my opinion I want to dive into later. But first, I think it's important we talk about the Minecraft movie event server. You might have noticed there are vertical slabs in there, and in response to a comment where I said that Mojang said, why not to the mace, Airbus 3330 at 743 liters says, if only they said, why not to the vertical slabs? And indeed, why is it that Minecraft says why not to vertical slabs, but only in event worlds? And the answer to that is that these event worlds are actually made specifically by their movie, by a third-party marketplace studio, and they're allowed to break all of the usual Minecraft rules. Is that a good thing? And indeed, if they're choosing to do that, isn't that a sign that vertical slabs are wanted by people? The answer, in reverse order, is definitely yes and maybe. And the reason that I'm mentioning this is that it's about to go away in just under 2 days. That's right, usually by now everyone would have enjoyed the server, got everything out of it, but this server only fully unlocked 2 days ago, and that's if you felt like being a bit naughty, more like a day ago for most people, which means that if you haven't got on the cape yet, you have 48 hours to get it, or you never will again. And the comment that relates to this is ArcaneCat4579 saying Toycat's tail yearned for the mines, and it's true. This is the really fun thing about having a tail attached to my skin. It always pokes through no matter the cape, and I just love the implication that I cut a hole in all my capes just so that my tail doesn't have to awkwardly have it drag over it. Anyway, speaking of awkward, Love Sarsky actually left a very nice comment, and it said, I'm so excited for the happy ghasts, patiently waiting for the snapshot on Java, so I always appreciate these videos coming out so quickly. And it's funny because to me, I feel like we make a video for any particularly interesting new beta or preview, and it's been getting a little bit slower. It takes us about 4 hours from beta release to the video release. A lot of that is because we edit the videos in a higher quality way than we have in the past. It's something I'm actually trying to bring down, so I appreciate the praise, but also you're patiently waiting for the snapshot on Java. And did you know we got a direct response from Nembon about this? Yep, that same Nembon from the interview. He responded to someone asking if snapshots are on Tuesday instead of Wednesdays, that yes, snapshots are moving to Tuesdays. Ghast is already cooking on main, waiting for the next snapshot, but for the craft mine update, let them cook for the time being. I have maxed out my player already, and I've got to say, maxing out the player was fun. Do not recommend doing it if you're playing craft mine right now. Be careful about getting the last upgrades, they do break everything. But yeah, Tuesdays are now the days for snapshots and betas, and that is a hugely interesting change to anyone who loves to follow the latest changes, just like myself, because when it comes to checking out the new betas and previews, it kind of was a decent cadence of having main updates come out on Tuesday, whether that be minor or major, and then having these snapshots and betas on Wednesdays, and I think that they're going to find that they get disrupted a surprising amount, given that there is a brand new release for Bedrock every 6 or 7 weeks or so, and given that there tends to be, main updates coming out for the game every 3 months. I think that this might be a broken release schedule unless they're willing to release snapshots and main updates on the same day, or unless they're willing to miss more beta weeks. I think that that could actively be a good idea. I mean, I think a lot of people complain when you get too many betas in a row that are just bug fixes, so having some of those happen kind of internally is maybe a good thing, but still, huge change to the way that Minecraft releases things, but we don't actually know the significance of it yet because we've only actually had one snapshot and one preview on a Tuesday. The last preview came out on a Thursday, just kind of proving that actually Tuesday is the now preferred day, but Wednesday and Thursday can still happen, and that's something that's like really important to me because I love to travel. I'm sure you know that if you're watching the channel, and it means that I've had to change my travel patterns. I used to love being able to book flights that would go out on like a Tuesday because it's like the cheapest day of the week, but now it means that I'm like trying to book going out on like a Thursday or ideally a Friday, but also making sure I'm back by like Tuesday morning, which means that I don't know, I've been looking forward to going to South America for a while. I want to go tick off some of those countries, but that might be a problem if I have to be back during that, so I guess I'll have to work out like a mobile recording setup or something. Anyway, just in case you're curious as to my upcoming plans for the year, I still now, especially with the world opening up but looking like it might close down one day soon, I'm looking forward to like traveling as much as I can, and I'd love to see as many South American countries as possible. Speaking of South American countries, let's come back to this Nembon tweet that is a valid transition, you can't tell me otherwise, because you might be wondering like, oh, Nembon, if he's working, you know, he's talking about the snapshots, what else is he talking about? Well, interestingly, he confirmed that he's working on the summer drop, which is great news because of all of the tiny things that he's kind of hinted personally would be coming to Minecraft. I think there are so many great ideas that they could work with when it comes to biome votes, and I think that the summer drop is a really interesting update to talk about because we genuinely don't have any real idea right now. I think the best bet that anyone has made, if I'm gonna be so humble, is my idea of this is a multiplayer update. It really seems like they are hinting in that direction, but we've literally only seen one feature so far, and maybe Tuesday's snapshot will give us a better idea, but for now, we don't know much about the summer drop, but I do know I'm excited. I also know that I was excited to watch the Minecraft movie, which I did on Thursday, and I got some really interesting comments about the Minecraft movie, and a really interesting reveal from Jeb here, because Megaversus Prime, longtime friend of the channel, tweeted at him, or bleated at him, that he really enjoyed a Minecraft movie, but he wants to ask, why was it a mixture of hardcore and creative? I'm probably just showing my true Minecraft nerd, but I'm still curious, and the answer was that it's supposed to be survival the whole time, but the movie needed to simplify certain things a bit, and so, yeah, that's why the Elytra wing suit got in there, without Steve ever actually having presumably been to the end, and there's a lot of simplifications in the movie, as I'm sure you know. A lot of people actually criticize that, with Soundshifter saying, well, why is it when they do a movie adaptation of a video game, they don't just give us a playthrough of super realistic graphics? That's pretty much what everyone wants. The only uncriticized segment of Doom was the part where it's just first-person gameplay, and I want to say, if you've watched the Minecraft movie as well, I'm sure you'll agree that there was so much criticism of the idea of doing this live action. Lots of people wanted it animated at worst, or maybe even just a playthrough of the game, like you say, but actually, I think having watched it now, I'm glad the Minecraft movie exists. I think that it is a solid, you know, 8.5 out of 10, maybe even 9 out of 10 movie. I think that there's lots of good things to say. I am absolutely shocked by the community response to it, because what's interesting is I see lots of people sharing, by the way, videos of themselves in a movie. That is actually piracy. You might get in trouble for that, fun fact. But a lot of people are sharing like videos and being like, look, everyone said the line from the trailer, and I'm mind blown that this is something that isn't just like seen as acceptable to like a small minority, but according to my tweet about this, and by the way, I asked this in the most biased way possible. I said, do you want people yelling in your, you know, your cinema, in your movie theater, or do you think, no, why are people yelling? And weirdly, 55% of people, it's actually increased now to 60% of people, think that, yeah, I love when people yell the lines to the movie at the same time as the movie, and I feel like I'm living in an alternate dimension. I feel like I just put up a poll being like, do you like it when that random person plays a TikTok on the bus? And everyone's like, yeah, it's so cool listening to someone else's TikTok. I love that when instead of, you know, doing the thing that I want to be doing, I'm forced to listen to other people. I mean, like, when people are quoting the line, they're like, you know, they're cheering so loud that you can't hear the dialogue in it. I think it's amazing that people want to go to movies and not watch the dialogue, and I also think it's hilarious that the movie this seems to be most clear for is Minecraft, because the kind of implication is lots of people are watching without actually caring about the plot, and what's wild about this is you can actually see that this isn't a sign that the movie is bad. I mean, critically sure it's underperforming, but what's interesting is that the movie is actually way more successful than people expected, more successful than Five Nights at Freddy's, and currently the second best video game movie by opening weekend predictions. This is absolutely wild to me that people are seemingly going in ironically, but they're going in ironically in such large numbers that they're making the movie a success. Whoever is marketing this movie is doing a good job. They can have people be actively convinced it's a bad movie, but still willing to spend their own money in large enough numbers to watch it, even as a joke. That is amazing, in my opinion, that they can pull that off. That there are so many people being like, yeah, it's Minecraft, it's whatever, and then actually go and watch it with their friends. That is genius marketing. But if you want my review of the movie, as someone who doesn't go, and ironically, I'm willing to fully admit I was going in expecting it not to be great, but they really overdid my expectations. I think that the movie has some genuinely very funny moments. The whole villager part of the movie is one of my favorite bits, if I'm being honest with you. The Matt Berry's voice suddenly appearing is one of the wildest things to me. But the actual movie itself, it's kind of filled with lots of non sequitur humor. It's filled with lots of plot dead ends that don't go anywhere, but they don't really need to because it's Minecraft and you get the vibe of where they're going. There's lots of little funny bits, and although I don't think this is going to be a cult classic, you're not going to want to rewatch this every year forever. It is going to be one of those interesting moments in time, and I think it's really cool that they've actually pulled it off. This was a scary moment for Mojang, and I have to say, I think that they're gonna stick the landing on this one. Maybe not as successfully as the Mario movie, but definitely as one of the more successful movies of this year. I heard that Warner Brothers' other movies have all flopped, so it's nice to see that they had some success. Speaking of some success, do you wanna hear about a dumb thing that happened this week? I posted this meme on my community tab. I think it's hilarious personally. It took a little bit of time to edit together, but as you can see, it's a piglin putting some tariffs on all of the overworld biomes because he believes that the trade deficit is too high. I thought this was just really funny in the sort of way where literally no one can be offended, but I was wrong. Let me read some of the comments to you. Unsubscribed, unsubbed. We don't like commies round here, so I think I'm a head out. Dude, why did you post something as toxic as politics? Jeez. By the way, I voted for Trump. And I just want to point out, I feel like this is the most calm political satire in Minecraft we post on this channel, but also I feel like this is just one of my favorite little goofy things. I love seeing, maybe you do too, but I just love the idea of real world things represented in video games, and I know that if you're subscribed to this channel, you probably do as well, because we've not just done political extreme ideologies explained to villagers, we've done multiple Minecraft servers on the idea, and I just thought it was really interesting that people are like, you know what, they probably not even subscribed to the channel, they see this in their homepage, and they're like, how dare you make fun of our president? And I just thought it was funny because if you think tariffs are a good thing, which you might if you are a person who likes that sort of breed of politics, then this is perfectly fine, right? You're like, oh yeah, Piglin's got a really good point, just like us. They're gonna bring manufacturing jobs back to the nether. You can have that opinion, and if you're actually just so politically poisoned that if you see anything that mentions your guy and you assume it must be criticism, then I think that is something to work on. But yeah, also, you know that I'm a contrarian, and that's how you can tell these people were never subscribed to begin with, because telling me not to do something is exactly not how you do that, and so expect to see something fun, let's just say, in the not so soon future, because I just think there's something so goofy about this. I can't help but smile when I see it, and that's why I'm going to share it with the world anyway. Speaking of things I want to share with the world, I've been trying to share some of the fun posts from the IBX Toycat subreddit, and two that I really enjoyed this week was this one of someone going into a desert temple and finding a fossil there. I love that the coal block literally blocks the chest from opening, and I also love East Builder's idea of putting heavy cores on top of their end portal here. As you can see, that takes a lot of heavy cores, but it actually looks awesome, right? Well, clearly they've been playing for 16,000 days, so they had the time to go and get them, but I love the way that this looks. I cannot imagine the amount of their world they must have explored, but I also cannot imagine what it's like to not want to watch the Minecraft movie. I think they did a really good job at making a movie that somehow has such broad appeal. Everyone I know from all the walks of my life who never play Minecraft are like, yeah, I really want to go see in that movie. I hear it's got Jack Black. They did the perfect job with it somehow, to the level where we're already talking about a second movie, which I think is nuts, and I think is just a fun reminder that sometimes things that are bad are more successful than things that are air quotes good, and hopefully this video was bad enough for you to like it, and if you did, I hope you'll see me tomorrow for the live stream and a deeper video about vibrant visuals. I've been spending a lot of time testing it, and I'm hoping to share those results with you tomorrow. Thank you, and goodbye.